Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for February 12th. Taking a look at the U.S. Japanese yen pair first. We're expecting this pair to move as high as 91.90 and as low as 88.70 during this next session. Now look for some resistance around 91.15 and look for support around 90.64. Now this pair closed up today, did not hit the low of the previous session, but did close up today. This pair is pretty much tracking sideways currently. The bias is sideways. No real significant news in the U.S. Japanese yen pair on the day time frame. Switching over to the U.S., the Euro U.S., this particular pair closed down today. It did crack through some previous support, but that support was not the lowest it's been in the past couple of weeks, but still went to it. Closed higher though, if you make a note of that. Did close down overall for the session though. We are expecting this pair to move as high as 130.71 and as low as 125.82. Look for some resistance around 129.53 and look for some support around 128.08 in this particular pair. Now, had you taken the inside bar trade that we talked about briefly yesterday, you definitely would have profited, but it just didn't look like a good trade to me at the time, so we didn't take that one. Looking at the pound US dollar, this pair moved lower today, did move much lower and then pulled back prior to the close. I do believe this pair is moving sideways overall, but the bias is definitely to the downside. We are expecting this pair to move as high as 145.70 and as low as 139.22. Look for some resistance around 143.65 and look for some support around 141.51. Switching to the US Swiss, this particular pair we looked for a breakout on our inside bar trade. That did not happen. The market did close up after pushing much higher, but ended up pulling back prior to the close. We are expecting this pair to move as high as 118.14 and as low as 114.60. We are expecting this pair to hit some resistance around 116.60 and look for support at around 115.59 in this particular pair. Now, another trade that we were looking at yesterday was on the Euro Japanese yen pair. In this pair, we are looking for a breakout of the inside bar. This was our inside bar, looking for a break to the low. We actually came within 2 pips of hitting our target. I hope those that traded it realize that if you're 81 pips up on this trade, that at very least go to break even. We almost hit our target, but we're 2 pips shy. Hopefully you did get some pips out of that. If not, hopefully you moved to break even, and that was that. Now looking forward, no real trades to look for during this next session. However, I am looking at the Euro pound. If you notice, this particular pair pushed higher today, but hit, if you look at the chart, previous support. Remember, support is not necessarily a price, but a area, like so. And we've tested that price once, twice, and 3 times in the future prior to heading lower. I do believe that as the market has pushed higher, that we have hit some previous resistance, and that previous resistance will hold up, and this particular pair will be headed back down, back to the downside. You know, if we get this particular pair to move a little bit lower like so, then possibly we could have a nice swing trade for tomorrow, looking to go to the downside. So that is definitely something that we should take a look at. Well, that about does it for today as far as the charts go. The Eurozone had their industrial production release for December. It was worse than expected at -2.6 from -2.2%. The U.S. also had their advanced retail sales released, and it was better than expected at 1.0%, which is a positive number. Very, very good news for the U.S. dollar. Now, looking ahead, the Eurozone has the German GDP for the fourth quarter being released at 2 a.m. Consensus is that for the fourth quarter, that things have deteriorated and gone from negative 0.5% to a negative 1.8%. Year to date, they're dropping from 0.3% to a negative 1.3%, which is not good for the euro overall. The Eurozone has their GDP for the fourth quarter being released at 5 a.m. tomorrow, and the consensus on that is that theirs has dropped as well from negative 0.2% to negative 1.3% in the fourth quarter. Year to date, they're looking at a drop from 0.6% to a possible negative 1.1% overall, which this news should be negative for the euro going into tomorrow's session. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.